Scott Bagley, Program Director with NNFP. I was in Austria back in early June because I was in the area for a symposium on small-scale forestry and had the opportunity to look at some of their innovations related to biomass and renewable energy, but also the role of landowners, the role of farmers and forest owners in the system, and not just as suppliers, but owners and operators of some of the enterprises. Linz is a surprisingly large industrialized city in Upper Austria. We were there to meet with Christiane Egger, and she is the deputy manager of their energy agency for Upper Austria. She told us a little bit more about what they've done over the years and the types of commitments and investments that her government has been making. 30 years ago, they were where we are right now, sort of waking up to this idea that we want to diversify our energy mix, having disruptions of their natural gas supply from Russia, really wanting to not import oil from countries in the Middle East, creating new markets for wood-based biomass as a win for their farmers. By the year 2030, they're taking care of all of their space heat and electric needs with renewable sources. Styria in the southeastern part of the country. That's where we visited most of the rural areas and got to meet a lot of farmers and forest owners, as well as their partners who are supporting them, and that would be the Styria Chamber of Agriculture and Forestry, as well as the Styrian Forest Owners Association. So the first stop was in Hartberg, facility known as a Biomass Logistics and Trade Center. And these are facilities that farmers use. They own it and operate it through the cooperative business model to bring their raw material, process it into a higher value use, and then their customers know they can go there for a good quality product. So another group of customers that use these biomass logistics and trade centers are known as wood energy contractors. And we visited a farmer who is one of these. And basically, in his case, he built a heating system and wood storage facility at his farm, and then he pipes his heat to his neighbors. Basically makes him responsible for all aspects of their heating. The contractor is selling heat, similar to a power purchase agreement in the United States, where like a solar company might set up an array of solar collectors on a building. In other cases, it's like a group of farmers that form a cooperative. They all are responsible for not only supplying the facility, but also operating it and maintaining it. They are independently owned by cooperatives of farmers, but all of the biomass logistics and trade centers are linked together through a regional federation that utilizes the same brand, which for the customer it tells them that they're going to have quality chips or firewood, and they know what they're going to get. The customers, they know they're using a homegrown source of fuel. That's neighbors working together with neighbors. Forest owners taking care of their woods, working with contractors or being contractors themselves, which then they work with their neighbors or their neighbors in the nearby villages, just keeping those, in their case, their euros local. They were very strategic about helping to develop contractors and have training programs in place, while at the same time promoting the use of these with customers. One of the ways they assure sustainability of their forest operations and the extraction of the biomass or the logs that are used for biomass energy is through the use of a forest stewardship plan. So not just thinking about what we take from the forest, but also what we leave behind, because ultimately forestry is not just about what is extracted, but it's also thinking about the future forest. So they have a pretty serious goal for themselves by 2030. They're about a third of the way there. They have over 40,000 biomass heating installations, 300 biomass district heating networks, and even a few biomass power stations. If you look at a map of Austria that shows their biomass heating and combined heat and power plants, it's just astounding how many there are. You know, they're just all over the place. Probably every few miles you're going to find one. For this to work in the United States, it's not enough just to have entrepreneurs. We need to have favorable policies in place. And right now, there's a lot of uncertainty related to what we were going to do, for instance, with a cap and trade bill or other forms of energy policy. What would this model look like here in the United States? Or even just on a state level or even a sub-state level, if we had these types of enterprises in place and tied to good forest practices, what would that look like from a job creation point of view, from a forest conservation point of view, and even from an energy conservation and development point of view?